You were never meant to leave May as the same version of yourself that stepped into it. This month has always carried a quiet power, subtle yet transformative, like the way rivers shape canyons not through force, but through steady, unrelenting flow. And now, here we are at May 31st, standing in the sacred pause before the door to June creaks open. But don't let the simplicity of the calendar fool you. This isn't just another date to cross off. It holds a pulse, a weight, a whisper only those truly listening can hear. It's a whisper that says, "You've changed, whether you realize it or not." May didn't just happen to you. It moved through you. It stirred the still waters of your soul. The days you thought were simply chaotic or unimportant were actually weaving the threads of something bigger. The moments that left you breathless or uncertain were initiations, quiet, sacred transitions wrapped in the ordinary. And May 31st? It's the threshold, the sacred echo of all you've lived through in the past month, calling you to notice what's shifted. This day isn't about loud celebrations or flashy endings. It's not about performing transformation or pretending to have all the answers. It's a reckoning, a return to the self. It's where you begin to see that everything you've felt, the restlessness, the emotional intensity, the sense that something is trying to break free, was never random. It was your inner landscape being rearranged. The deeper currents of your spirit moving into alignment with something new. You weren't meant to come out of May untouched. You were meant to be reshaped. And here's the thing. This message didn't find you by accident. If you're hearing these words, if you feel that knot in your stomach tightening in recognition, then you're exactly where you need to be. You're part of the few who haven't just scrolled past the moment. You're part of the few who are awake enough, heart open enough, to notice that something in the air feels different. That maybe, just maybe, something sacred is happening inside you, even if you don't yet have the words to explain it. There's a softness to this day, but also an unmistakable urgency. Not the frantic urgency of panic or pressure, but the sacred kind. The kind that says, now is the time. Now is the time to remember that your life isn't just something happening to you. It's something you're shaping, moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath. And if you felt like time has been slipping through your fingers lately, like the days have blurred into one long, unanchored wave, then this is your pause. This is your permission to catch up with yourself. Because the moon is slipping into its waning crescent phase, a subtle, often ignored moment in the lunar cycle. But it is in this final breath of light that the real magic happens. This is when the noise begins to quiet. When clarity can rise, it's a time of release, of surrender, of coming home to yourself in the stillness. Energetically, it's like the exhale after a long period of holding your breath. Spiritually, it's the moment where the soul leans in and asks, what are you still carrying that no longer belongs to you? This moon doesn't demand answers. It invites questions. It asks you to trace the emotional fingerprints May has left on your soul, to revisit the conversations that shook something loose, the dreams that felt too fragile to speak aloud, the decisions you made in silence because the world wouldn't understand. Those things matter. They are part of your evolution. Every hesitation you felt, every moment you stood at the edge of change and chose to stay, or chose to leap, those were soul-level choices. And this day, this closing chapter of May, is where those decisions start to echo in your body. It's where your soul begins to show you what you've outgrown. There is no pressure here, only presence. A sacred invitation to sit down with yourself and truly look inward. Ask, am I still living in alignment with who I'm becoming? Or am I trying to shrink back into someone I've already outgrown? Most of us go through life wearing versions of ourselves like old clothes we're too afraid to donate, afraid of the emptiness that might follow if we let them go. But this moment isn't asking you to be fearless. It's asking you to be honest. It's asking you to admit what's no longer working, to name what hurts, to honor what's calling you forward. That tightness you've been feeling in your chest, that tension that keeps surfacing in moments of stillness, it's not a weakness. It's your soul tapping on the walls you've built, asking to be let out. It's the gentle rebellion of your inner truth. So many of us are exhausted, not just from doing too much, but from pretending, from trying to be everything to everyone, from walking paths we never truly chose, from chasing a version of success that doesn't feed the spirit. And we wonder why it feels so empty, why we feel so alone, even in a crowd. Why we wake up tired, not just in body, but in soul. This moment is a turning point. It doesn't demand a dramatic change or a perfect plan. It asks for awareness, presence, a willingness to pause and say, I want to come home to myself. Coming home to yourself means releasing what no longer nourishes you, even if it's comfortable. It means recognizing that some things you're still holding on to are only there because you're afraid of the silence they'd leave behind. But what if that silence was sacred? What if it held the answers you've been chasing? There is a deep intelligence in your discomfort. It's pointing you toward your next evolution. Don't ignore it. Don't numb it. Let it speak. May 31st is the space between stories, the gentle close of one chapter and the quiet preparation for another. But it's not about starting over. It's about continuing forward, more aligned, more awake, more deeply connected to who you truly are. And that begins by honoring what's here, right now, in this breath. So ask yourself, what truth have you been avoiding? What dream have you been downplaying? What version of yourself have you been waiting to meet? Because the energy right now is fertile. It's sacred soil. And what you plant here, what intentions you whisper into this space, will grow. Maybe not overnight. Maybe not how you expect. But with time, care, and honesty, they will grow. You don't need to figure everything out. You don't need to have a plan. You just need to show up to your life, to your heart, to your own unfolding with presence and love. You need to believe that your intuition, your knowing, your gut instincts are sacred, and that this life you're building can still be molded into something beautiful, no matter what has fallen apart before. This is not the end. It's a sacred beginning disguised as an ending. Let May 31st be the day you pause long enough to feel the weight of your own becoming. Let it be the day you honor how far you've come, not with perfection, but with presence. Let it be the moment you say yes to your own truth, however messy or mysterious it may be. Because the truth is, you are not who you were at the start of this month. And that's not a failure. It's a triumph. A quiet, brave, sacred triumph of the soul. And maybe that means turning your attention inward, not just in a fleeting moment of reflection, but in an honest, ongoing dialogue with yourself. Maybe it means looking closely, without judgment, at the relationships you've allowed to grow roots in your life. Some of these connections, while deeply familiar and wrapped in history, have begun to weigh you down. You may not have wanted to see it, or perhaps you've tried to explain it away. But somewhere in your heart, you feel it. that subtle sense of heaviness, like carrying something that no longer fits the version of you that's unfolding. These aren't just friendships or relationships you've outgrown. They're patterns, roles, expectations, and energies you once needed, but no longer serve your expansion. They've acted like anchors, not necessarily malicious, but still binding. They hold you in the space you've already outgrown, echoing an identity you're slowly stepping away from. And that's not easy to confront. It never is. We are wired to hold on, to seek comfort in what's known, even when it limits our growth. But nature itself teaches us. Growth requires letting go. Just as a tree must shed its leaves to rest and regenerate, just as a flower must release its petals to make way for new life, so too must we release what has served its purpose. Letting go isn't a betrayal. It's a sacred act of trust. It's choosing to believe that what's ahead, though uncertain, is worthy of your courage. This moment, this specific energy swirling around you as May draws to a close, carries an unmistakable call. It's soft, but powerful. It invites you to pause and take inventory, not just of what surrounds you, but of what lives within you. What are you still carrying that was never yours to bear? An old hurt that keeps resurfacing, asking for acknowledgement? A regret you've replayed in your mind so often it feels like a shadow? An expectation, spoken or unspoken, that's become a quiet pressure you feel every day? The universe, in its quiet wisdom, offers you the grace to lay it all down. Not because surrendering means you've failed, not because you need to rid yourself of everything in a dramatic purge, but because there's peace available to you. And peace doesn't live in clinging. It lives in allowing. It grows in the spaciousness of your heart when you say, I don't need to carry this anymore. I choose to be free. You don't have to wait for a sign written in the sky to know that it's time. You already feel it in your body, in your restlessness, in your yearning for something more aligned. This moment, this breath, is enough to begin. Even if the beginning is just a whisper of willingness. Let this closing chapter of May remind you of something essential. You were never meant to stay the same. Life is not about achieving a static state of perfection or predictability. You were meant to evolve, to awaken, to peel back the layers of all the masks you've worn until you arrive, again and again, at the essence of who you truly are. And maybe that essence is still being revealed to you, but that doesn't make it any less real. In fact, that's the sacred beauty of it. You are a living mystery, unfolding. So when the question arises, are you ready? Know that readiness doesn't mean having it all figured out. It means being willing to show up, even trembling. It means trusting that even a small crack in the wall you've built around your heart can let in the light. What if, just for this moment, you allowed yourself to let go of the story that's been keeping you stuck? Not to erase your past or bypass your pain, but to make space for something else, something softer, something true. Letting go of an old identity, a belief, or a dynamic that no longer honors you doesn't mean forgetting where you came from. It means honoring where you're going. Transformation isn't some loud, dramatic act. It's not always fireworks and grand epiphanies. More often, it arrives in quiet moments of truth. It's the courage to say what's been living in your throat for too long. It's choosing to rest when your inner critic says you should be doing more. It's asking for help, not because you're broken, but because you're wise enough to know you don't have to do it all alone. These are not small acts. These are radical declarations of self-worth. In these small acts, a new path begins to emerge. Each one is a stepping stone, carrying you across the river of your own becoming. The waters may feel uncertain beneath your feet, but the current is carrying you somewhere meaningful. You are not drifting aimlessly. You are moving towards something truer. Right now, one of the most powerful tools you have is your awareness. The simple, profound ability to pause and notice, to catch yourself when old habits and fears creep in, and instead of judging yourself, you witness. You remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. You are not your patterns. You are the soul watching it all unfold. And that witnessing is everything. It's the moment when the light returns to the dimmest room inside you. You can see clearly, and in that clarity, you regain your power. You're no longer reacting. You're choosing. That's the birthplace of freedom. You might feel called to mark this shift in a tangible way, something quiet but intentional. Maybe you sit with your journal and write a letter you'll never send, a letter to your past self, or to someone whose energy you're ready to release. Or maybe you write a love note to your future self, who's already living the life you're calling in. These rituals, however simple, are sacred. They give shape to the invisible. They give voice to the whispers of your heart. Maybe you light a candle, not just for ambiance, but as a symbol, a gentle flame to represent the light you are choosing to carry, even in moments of uncertainty. That light is yours, and it can't be extinguished by doubt or fear. It may flicker, but it will never go out. Transformation, in truth, is not about racing towards some finish line. It's not a race at all. It's a dance, a fluid, sacred dance with the rhythms of your life. It's about learning when to move and when to be still, when to speak and when to listen, when to reach out and when to return inward. May 31st invites you to slow down enough to hear your own music again, to tune into the quieter shifts, the ones you often overlook in the rush of your days. Beneath the surface of your daily routine, something deeper is stirring. Your soul doesn't shout to get your attention. It doesn't demand or push. It whispers. It hums in silence. It waits for the moments when you're still enough to feel it. When you create space for that silence, a deeper knowing rises. A truth that doesn't need to be explained. It simply is. And in its presence, you remember who you are beneath the noise. The energy of this time is like a river, flowing, steady, unhurried. You are being carried toward a threshold. And thresholds, by their nature, are both endings and beginnings. The moon, in all her phases, has always been your guide in these moments. She doesn't force the tide. She simply reflects the light and shows the way. And now, as she prepares to usher you into June, she reminds you, the shift doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs your presence. You don't have to know what's next. You only have to say yes to the moment in front of you. The guidance that's arriving now won't vanish as the calendar turns. It lingers, like the moon's glow in the early dawn. It's a quiet invitation that doesn't expire, a call to drift away from the familiar shores, the roles, the stories, the attachments that have defined you for too long. You are not being pushed. You are being called. And that call is sacred. This invitation isn't loud. It doesn't come with fanfare. It arrives in the parts of you that feel restless and uncertain, the spaces between who you were and who you're becoming. That liminal space, while uncomfortable, is holy. It's where the old begins to dissolve and the new begins to take form. Change is not meant to feel tidy or easy. It's messy, it's raw, but it's real. And that reality has the power to birth something breathtaking. There's something about this moment, the quiet exit of May, that cracks open a door within you. Not a door you have to charge through, just one you can step through slowly, with reverence, with grace. You don't have to rush your arrival. You only have to trust the path. The moon asks you to slow your pace, not because life is demanding less of you, but because your soul is asking for more of your attention, more gentleness, more listening. Tune into your inner world. Where do you feel tension in your body right now? What thoughts keep looping, uninvited? What emotions rise without clear cause? These are not distractions. They are your soul's way of speaking, of reaching out to you. Listen. To meet this moment fully, begin where you are. Let it be simple. Each morning, give yourself a few quiet minutes to come back to yourself. Feel your body grounded to the earth. Let your breath be a prayer, drawing in clarity, exhaling all that no longer belongs. Imagine roots extending from the soles of your feet, anchoring you, holding you steady, even when everything else is shifting. These small practices hold great power. They remind you that even in uncertainty, you are not lost. You are rooted. You are held. You are being guided, not by force, but by love, by something deep within that always knows the way home. So as May comes to a close, allow yourself to exhale, to rest, to release. You are not who you were, and that is a gift. Who you are becoming is still unfolding, and that is sacred. Trust this becoming. Trust yourself. You are ready even if you don't feel ready. You are ready because you are willing. As we reach this tender cusp between the closing of May and the unfolding of June, a deeper invitation is being offered. One that goes far beyond the surface of your daily life. It's a moment thick with possibility, humming quietly beneath the noise, asking you to lean in and listen. There's a sacredness to this time that may not be loud or dramatic, but it pulses steadily, like a heartbeat just beneath your skin. And within that pulse lies a truth. You are being called to look around, to look within, and to see what no longer belongs in the next chapter of your life. Now is not a time for harsh judgments or rushed decisions. It's not about tearing your life apart in some frantic quest for reinvention. Instead, this moment asks for softness. It invites you to gently turn your gaze inward and examine what surrounds you. Your boundaries, your habits, the dynamics in your relationships, the quiet assumptions you hold about yourself. With compassion and honesty, ask yourself, are these things still aligned with who I am becoming? Are they nourishing or draining me? Are they supporting my growth or holding me in place? This is not about fleeing or severing ties out of fear or impatience. It's about discernment, the quiet, sovereign act of choosing what serves your evolution and releasing what doesn't. There's a grace in that kind of letting go, a dignity in honoring both the past and the future by making space for the present to breathe. Give yourself permission to say yes to what brings peace, to what lifts you up and inspires a sense of calm confidence in your soul. Just as importantly, give yourself permission to say no, with kindness, but also with clarity and firmness, to anything that feels heavy, misaligned, or false. This process is not always easy, and it rarely happens all at once. But it does open doors. When you create space in your life by releasing what no longer resonates, you make room for something new to take root, something more aligned, something truer. This is where transformation begins, in the quiet decision to walk away from what once fit but no longer does, and to move towards something that reflects the deeper truth of who you are. And while you're doing this inner work, something tender is beginning to stir in your creative center. You may feel it as a restlessness, a longing, or even a spark of joy. This energy, subtle yet powerful, isn't random. It's the universe stirring within you, urging you to express yourself in new ways, whether through writing, music, movement, painting, or simply allowing yourself time to daydream and imagine. There's a need now to let your creative energy move freely. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to label it. You don't even need to share it with anyone else. What matters most is that you give it permission to exist, to move through you like wind through an open window. This isn't about creating something perfect or impressive. It's about creating something real, because creativity is how your soul speaks. It's how you translate the whispers of the universe into form. And when you allow yourself to engage with it, however messy or uncertain it feels, you begin to uncover a deeper rhythm within yourself, a rhythm that guides your next steps, not with logic or reason, but with intuitive truth. As June opens its arms to you, remember that growth does not follow a straight line. It isn't a race or a checklist. It's more like a spiral, a journey that returns you to familiar places again and again, but always with new eyes, new wisdom, and a softer heart. It's natural to revisit old patterns, old doubts, even old pain. But this time, you're not the same. You're seeing from a new vantage point, one shaped by all you've learned, endured, and reclaimed. Trust that. Trust your ability to keep evolving, even when you can't yet see where you're going. The energy of the moon reminds you of this. It doesn't push or demand. It simply offers its quiet light, steady and unwavering, no matter where you are on your path. It's not asking you to have everything figured out. It's asking you to stay present, to keep showing up, to honor your progress, even when it feels slow or invisible. Because often, the most profound changes are the ones that unfold beneath the surface, softly, silently, over time. This transformation you're moving through may not look dramatic on the outside. It may not make headlines or declarations, but inside, it's changing everything. The way you see yourself, the way you respond to life, the way you choose to love, to forgive, to trust. These shifts are sacred. They are the foundation for everything you will build from here. Celebrate your progress. Even the tiny steps, especially the tiny steps. Hold yourself with tenderness on the days when you feel lost or unsure. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to not know. What matters is that you don't give up on yourself, that you don't let the discomfort of uncertainty convince you that nothing is happening. Because something is happening, something powerful, something beautiful. Even if it's still hidden, even if it's still becoming. You are not walking this alone. The energy moving through this threshold, the end of May and the beginning of June, is rich with support. Cosmic forces are aligning not to fix you, but to lift you, to remind you of your own strength, your own capacity for rebirth. The moon's light touches everyone equally and without condition. And if you're reading this, if you're feeling the weight of this moment, know that it's because you're ready. You're standing on the edge of something that matters. You can feel it in the air, in the stillness, in the breath that catches in your throat when you pause long enough to truly feel. This is not just a passing moment. May 31st is not just another date. It's a sacred threshold, a liminal space between what has been and what is yet to be. You are standing at the doorway of your own becoming, and what's been locked away in your chest, what you've held close and quiet, is starting to soften, to open, to rise. There is a warning in the moon's light, but not one born of fear. It's a warning born of truth. A whisper from the cosmos saying, "Wake up, open your eyes, open your heart. Don't miss this moment. You've been carrying so much. The invisible burdens, the old stories, the outdated beliefs that no longer reflect who you are. These things have shaped you, yes, but they do not define you. And now, something greater is at play. The momentum of the universe is pulling you forward. The tides are shifting. The winds are changing. You are standing at the intersection of everything you've ever been and everything you're becoming. It's a vulnerable place. It asks for your courage. It asks for your honesty. But it also offers something incredible in return. Freedom. The freedom to be who you truly are. Not who you were told to be. Not who you've pretended to be. But the you who has always lived quietly beneath the layers, waiting for this exact moment. Can you feel it? That current in the air? It's not just a feeling. It's a signal. A call. A cosmic nudge telling you that now is the time. Not to run, but to rise. To step out of hiding and into the light of your own truth. This moment is sacred. It's alive with potential. And it's yours. There are no roadmaps here. No signs pointing to a perfect outcome. But there is a path. One carved by courage, shaped by trust. A path that leads you back to yourself. It's not about having all the answers. It's about choosing to keep walking, to keep showing up, to keep saying yes to your healing, to your truth, to the life that's waiting for you to step into it. Not through perfection, but through presence. Not by being someone else, but by being exactly who you are. Honest, raw, powerful. So here you are, at the edge of the known, facing the vast mystery of what comes next. You have a choice. You can let this moment pass, or you can choose to meet it. With open arms, with an open heart, with the fire of your own becoming burning in your chest. Because no one else can make this choice for you. The moon's alignment on May 31st is a gift. But the true spark, the fire that transforms everything, that lives in you. You are not broken. You are blooming. And the journey ahead, while uncertain, is sacred. Walk it with courage. Walk it with trust. Walk it with the knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, and everything that's meant for you will meet you on the path, in its own time, in its own way. But it will come, and you will be ready. This moment, this exact breath you're taking right now, is your sacred invitation. Not a suggestion, not a possibility, but an invitation sealed by the cosmos itself, to step fully into your truth, to lay down the weight of what no longer serves you, to stop apologizing for who you are or for how deeply you feel, to stop waiting for the right time to start becoming who you were always meant to be. The universe doesn't operate by linear time the way we do. It speaks in signs, in feelings, in nudges. And everything you've been experiencing, the tension, the restlessness, the questions that keep rising in your heart, has been guiding you here. You are being called not just to survive change, but to embrace it with reverence. Not to brace yourself for impact, but to open your arms wide and allow the wind of transformation to carry you forward. This is not just about making it through. It's about becoming through. Becoming someone who doesn't just endure the storms, but learns to dance in the rain. Someone who finds beauty in the breaking, because they understand that even in the cracks, light can enter. You've been waiting for a sign. You've been waiting for the universe to tell you that it's time. This is it. This is your green light, your cosmic confirmation. The warning from the moon is not here to scare you. It's not a message of fear. It's a sacred summons, a call to rise, to look your truth in the eye and say, I see you. I'm ready now. That tug in your chest, that ache that won't leave you alone, That quiet whisper that keeps returning no matter how often you try to silence it. It's not random. It's not a phase. It's not your imagination. It's your soul. It's the tide of your own becoming, rising beneath the surface and getting harder to ignore. It's been calling you to remember who you were before fear crept in, before life hardened you, before the world convinced you to dim your light. That tide is no longer waiting, it's rising. And you have a choice. Resist it and stay where you are, or ride it and allow it to carry you into the version of your life that's always been waiting on the other side of your courage. And yes, it will require courage. Because change always does. But more than that, it requires truth. Your truth. Not the truth you've performed to make others comfortable. Not the truth you've borrowed from your parents, your culture, or your past. But the truth that lives at the core of your being, the one you've been afraid to speak, to show, to live fully. The truth that whispers in the quiet hours, reminding you that you are here for more. You've spent so long holding space for parts of yourself that felt small, unseen, unworthy. Maybe you've wrapped your pain in silence. Maybe you've put on a brave face while quietly breaking inside. Maybe you've convinced yourself that surviving was enough, that pushing through, holding it all together, meant you were strong. And you were strong. You are. But now the energy of this moment is asking for something else from you. It's asking you to bring all those pieces, the messy, fragile human parts of you, into the light. To gather them up like sacred relics, not shameful remnants. Because those pieces don't make you less. They make you whole. Every scar tells a story of resilience. Every ache is a testimony to how deeply you've loved, how fiercely you've tried, how fully you've lived. And now, you are being invited to take those stories, that pain, that fire, and create something new, something more honest, something that doesn't just impress the world, but nourishes your soul. So pause, breathe, reflect. Look back on these past months, the way time has felt like it's slipping through your fingers, the moments where the pressure to keep up, to do more, to be everything to everyone, felt unbearable. The exhaustion that crept in, not just physically, but spiritually. That wasn't failure. That wasn't weakness. That was your soul sending up a flare. That was your inner wisdom crying out, "This isn't the way." That was the sacred discomfort that comes when we live out of sync with our truth. And now, you have a choice. You can keep running on empty, trying to outrun your own needs. Or you can slow down. You can breathe. You can return to your rhythm, to the pulse of your soul that knows the way home. You can ask yourself, with honesty and compassion, am I living in alignment with who I truly am? Or have I been performing a version of myself that others expect? This moon, this energy, it isn't quiet. It's not a gentle whisper. It's a roar. It's a vibration that shakes loose the illusions, the lies, the masks. It's demanding that you face the truth. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it wants to free you. You cannot claim your power without first acknowledging where you've given it away. You cannot rise if you're still clinging to what's dragging you down. And that's the thing about transformation. It's not neat. It's not easy. It's raw. It's uncomfortable. It breaks things apart. Things you once thought were permanent. It asks you to sit in the unknown, to trust in the invisible, to leap before the ground appears beneath your feet. But within that chaos is where the magic lives. That fire in your chest, that feeling like you're about to burst with something unnameable. That's not something to suppress. That's your becoming. That's your truth trying to erupt from beneath the layers. That's your soul trying to breathe in a world that keeps telling you to shrink. That's your heart saying, no more. The moon is lighting up more than the sky. It's lighting up you. It's illuminating what's been hidden, what's been waiting, what's been denied. And now that the light is here, you can't unsee it. You can't unknow what you now know. The only question is, will you follow it? Following that light doesn't mean your path will suddenly be easy. It doesn't mean you'll never doubt again. But it does mean you'll be living in alignment. It means your decisions will come from a place of self-respect rather than self-abandonment. It means you'll stop leaking your energy to people and places that no longer deserve access to your soul. And that's where the real freedom lives. Maybe for you, following the light means creating stronger boundaries, ones that feel like love instead of punishment. Maybe it means finally walking away from relationships that no longer honor who you're becoming. Maybe it means reclaiming your time, your space, your energy. Or maybe it's simply allowing yourself to dream again, to believe that you are worthy of joy, of peace, of a life that lights you up from the inside out. The cosmic energy of May 31st isn't here to make promises. It's here to hold space, to open a doorway, to remind you that while the universe will always support your becoming, it cannot walk the path for you. This moment, this alignment, it's rich with potential. But potential is not the same as action. It's the seed. And seeds only grow when planted with intention. So stop waiting for permission, waiting for clarity, waiting for a sign that's already been given. You don't need anyone else to say you're ready. You are. The timing is now. The energy is ripe. The universe has done its part. The next move is yours. So go to the mirror. Look deeper. Look past the fatigue, the roles, the expectations. Look into your soul. See the one who has survived every dark night. The one who still chooses love, even when it's hard. The one who dares to keep believing in a world that doesn't always make it easy. That person, that's you. And the question is, what will you do with that truth? Will you let it stretch you into someone braver, bolder, more alive? Will you use it to rewrite the story you've been telling yourself? The one where you're too much or not enough? The one where you have to earn your worth? Or will you shrink back once again into the comfort of familiar pain? Because here's the thing, comfort isn't always safe. Sometimes comfort is just the cage we've grown used to. And the truth? It's not always comfortable, but it is liberating. And you were made for liberation. The moon's energy on this night isn't about doom. It's not about endings that leave you empty. It's about sacred beginnings, beginnings born from truth, from fire, from the soil of all that's been broken. The endings you faced, they weren't for nothing. They were the clearing, the tilling of your inner landscape. And now the rain has come. The earth is soft. The seeds are waiting. Even if you can't see the sprouts yet, they're there. Quietly, invisibly, they are growing. Your life is becoming something new, even if it doesn't feel that way yet. Trust the unseen. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Because this moment, this cosmic invitation, it's real, it's personal, and it's yours. Will you rise to meet it? Or will you turn away and wonder someday what might have bloomed had you said yes? The truth is, you already know the answer. It's been whispering to you for weeks, maybe months, maybe even years. It's time. Not because you're broken, not because you need to be fixed, but because you're ready. Ready to expand. Ready to feel alive. ready to claim the life that has always been meant for you. So take this moon's light. Let it illuminate what matters. Let it burn away what no longer fits. Let it guide you, not just forward, but inward. Because everything you've been searching for out there, it's been inside you all along. Your courage is the rain, soft and steady, soaking into the roots of your becoming. Your clarity is the sun, golden and warm, casting light upon all that you are learning to see with gentler eyes. And your willingness, the fierce and quiet power that keeps showing up again and again, is the rich, fertile soil where this new chapter of your life begins to take root. It may not look like much at first, just the tiniest shoot breaking through the ground, but it's there. And with time, care, and trust, that growth, your growth, will unfold into something far more beautiful than anything you can yet imagine. We are often taught that transformation has to be dramatic, loud, undeniable. But the truth is, real growth often whispers. It moves beneath the surface, slowly, like the earth warming before a bloom. And right now, this moment in time is inviting you to honor that quiet power, to lean into your own process, even if it feels uncertain, even if you don't yet see the outcome. Because growth is not about instant change or quick answers. It's about staying present with yourself through the unfolding. It's about tending to the parts of you that are still unsure, still afraid, still catching up to the idea that yes, you really are allowed to become someone new. This moment is asking something soft and sacred from you. It's not a demand, it's a calling. A soul-deep invitation to treat yourself with the kind of kindness you may have spent years offering to everyone else but yourself. You're being asked to show up, not as a version of you that has it all figured out, but as the version that's willing to keep trying, keep listening, keep loving through the mess. The parts of you that are hesitant, the ones that flinch at change or carry the old wounds of disappointment, they don't need your judgment. They need your patience, your presence, your soft and steady reassurance that it's okay to move slowly, to take your time, to heal at your own pace. Growth is not a race. It's a sacred rhythm, a spiral that carries you deeper into yourself, not faster towards some imagined finish line. It's a dance between letting go and daring to believe again, a movement of surrender and of intentional action. There is no rule book here, no one-size-fits-all timeline, only your truth, unfolding in its own perfect way. And here's something that's easy to forget when you're doing deep inner work. You were never meant to do this alone. The days surrounding May 31st and the dawn of June hold a potent kind of magic, a cosmic alignment that doesn't just push you toward growth, but supports you through it. There's a quiet strength in the energy around this time, a divine hand gently guiding, a silent assurance that you're being held by forces greater than you can see. And while that unseen energy is powerful, so too is the support you can find right here on Earth, in the people who know your heart, in the communities where your truth is welcomed, in the sacred spaces where vulnerability is honored instead of feared. Let yourself lean into that. Let yourself be seen. Connection is not a luxury. It's a necessity for healing. Just like the moon brightens the night sky without saying a word, the presence of those who understand you can bring light to your path. And sometimes, simply knowing that you're not alone can shift everything. This is not only your moment of awakening, it's a time for collective rising. The healing that begins in you has the power to ripple outwards, to affect lives you may never even realize you're touching. When you choose to rise, even with shaky legs and an uncertain heart, you become a living reminder that it's possible. You become a lighthouse for others. Your courage, even if it feels small to you, is an offering to the world. A message that healing is real, that transformation is possible, that hope is not lost. As the final day of May passes into the tender arms of June, let yourself release the narratives that no longer define you. You are not your past regrets. You are not the fears that sometimes still whisper in the dark. You are not the voice that says, "You're too late," or "You'll never be enough." What you are is this: someone who continues to rise, someone who keeps choosing presence, someone who knows that the journey is made not in perfect leaps, but in quiet, consistent steps. This is your reminder. You are already enough, not because you've done everything right, but because you keep returning to your truth. Again and again. You keep choosing to be here, to show up, to speak your heart, even if your voice trembles. And that choice, that relentless return to your own center, is what transforms everything. There's something stirring beneath the surface of your awareness right now. Something unspoken, something sacred. The moon's energy around May 31st isn't loud, but it is persistent. It's a cosmic tap on the shoulder, whispering, "Pay attention." Because this isn't just another moment. This isn't just another transition. This is a portal, a threshold between who you've been and who you're becoming. A point of reckoning, yes, but also of possibility. You're being asked to get honest with yourself. What are you still carrying that no longer serves the life you're ready to build? What are you still believing about yourself that is rooted in fear, not truth? Are there dreams you've hidden away, telling yourself it wasn't the right time? Are there longings that keep returning, not to haunt you, but to remind you of who you really are? You don't need to figure it all out right now. This isn't about rushing toward answers. It's about making space for the questions. It's about listening, about softening, about trusting that the clarity will come in its own time. The most important thing is that you remain honest with yourself, with your process, with the quiet voice inside you that always knows the way, even when your mind doesn't yet see the map. June arrives with a fresh wind and an open sky. It brings energy for new beginnings, for planting intentions that can grow into something extraordinary. But you have to be willing to begin. You have to be willing to clear the ground, to make room for something new. You have to nourish your soul the way you would tend to a precious garden, with tenderness, with attention, with hope. Transformation isn't reserved for the chosen few. It's not a privilege, it's a birthright. And the power to change your life is already within you. All it takes is your yes, your commitment to stay present, your willingness to meet yourself where you are and take that next step, not because you're certain, but because you're faithful. Let the energy of the moon be your guide. Let it mirror back to you the rhythm of your own soul, your cycles of growth, of pause, of retreat and return. They are holy. You don't need to push past them. You just need to honor them. Every wave of emotion, every surge of insight, every moment of fear and every return of courage. It's all a part of the sacred unfolding that is your life. And as the reflection sharpens on the evening of May 31st, let it be a moment of choosing. Not choosing perfection. Not choosing to have it all figured out, but choosing to be present. Choosing to be real. Choosing to walk forward, even if it's slowly, even if your heart is still trembling. because that is where your power lives, in your presence, in your truth, in your choice to keep going. The threshold you're standing on isn't just about what you're leaving behind. It's about what you're stepping into. And that future, your future, is still unwritten, still full of potential, still shimmering with the possibility of becoming everything your soul has always known it could be. So take a breath. Close your eyes. Feel the earth beneath you, steady and sure. Feel the stars above you, ancient and watching. Feel the moon within you, glowing with quiet wisdom. And when you're ready, not perfect, not certain, just ready, take that step. Trust the unfolding. Say yes. Maybe you've already felt it, a quiet yet profound stirring deep within, like a gentle tremor beneath the surface of your everyday life. It's the sensation that something significant is shifting, something bigger than you can fully grasp, yet impossible to ignore. This day holds a weight, a gravity that feels far from ordinary. It's not just a coincidence, nor is it some random twist of fate. What you're sensing is a deliberate call from the universe itself, a call to come home to yourself, to shed the layers of pretense, and to start living in alignment with your deepest truth. This is an invitation to step boldly into the authentic version of you, the one that's been waiting patiently beneath the surface of who you thought you had to be. Since the beginning of this year, you may have felt the pressure mounting, those moments of inner struggle, the growth that felt both exhausting and exhilarating. Every challenge, every late night of reflection, every small victory and setback has been leading you here. This moment is ripe with potential. It's a turning point, a pause to stop living life on autopilot and start making choices that truly resonate with your soul's desire. The stories you've been carrying, those narratives about who you are or who you should be, no longer serve the person you are becoming. There is a profound liberation in recognizing that you don't have to be bound by those old stories any longer. Hope is not some distant, unreachable concept. It is alive right here, woven into the very fabric of this cosmic shift. It pulses gently in the moonlight, shimmering in the quiet spaces between thoughts, and flows through the subtle energies surrounding you. You are not disconnected from this energy. On the contrary, you are an integral thread in a vast and intricate web of connection. Within this collective pulse lies everything you need: the courage to face uncertainty, the clarity to discern your path, and the purpose that fuels your journey forward. There is no need to have all the answers, no requirement to have a perfect 5-year plan laid out in front of you. This is not about perfection or rushing towards some distant goal. It is about showing up fully in the here and now, being honest with yourself and living with intention in each moment. The power of transformation resides in the simple act of presence and truth. This moment invites you to sit quietly with yourself and to open the door to those parts of you that have been waiting to be heard. It is a time to ask the questions you might have been avoiding. What old habits, fears, or limiting beliefs are you ready to release? What parts of your heart are yearning for a fresh yes? What small, gentle action can you take right now to honor the significance of this turning point? The answer might be something humble yet profound, a boundary drawn with kindness, a call made to reconnect with someone meaningful, or simply a few moments of stillness to honor your feelings and gather your strength. Every small step you take in alignment with your truth is meaningful. It is like planting a seed in fertile soil. Though it may seem tiny and insignificant now, that seed holds the potential to grow into something extraordinary, a tree of wisdom, resilience, and vibrant life. Your journey is unique and deeply personal, While no one else can walk it for you, you are never truly alone. There is strength in knowing you are part of a larger community, one that sees your growth, honors your courage, and shares in the collective transformation. In this shared space, we reflect together, support one another, and encourage each other to step more fully into who we are meant to become. It's a sanctuary where your voice matters deeply. I invite you to share what shifts you are beginning to notice within yourself. Perhaps you are sensing subtle changes in your perspective, an emerging clarity in your energy, or a soft awakening of your true self beneath the surface. Whatever you are experiencing, your story could be the spark that ignites courage or understanding in someone else who needs it right now. If this message resonates with you, if you feel the energy of this moment weaving its way through your life, I encourage you to stay connected. Subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos, where we will continue to explore these potent energies together. I will share practical guidance, rituals, and spiritual insights to help you navigate these shifts with greater intention, grace, and ease. If you know someone in your life who might benefit from hearing this message, consider sharing it with them. Sometimes it only takes one ripple to create a meaningful wave of transformation in another person's world. Looking ahead, I'm preparing new content focused on the energies unfolding in June. We'll explore how to face upcoming challenges with strength and how to receive the hidden gifts those challenges carry. I will offer tools, rituals, and spiritual wisdom designed to help you stay grounded in your truth, even as the world around you continues to shift. This is a season charged with change, and you are being called not to resist or fear it, but to meet it with trust, wisdom, and an open heart. Remember, the universe isn't sending these energies as warnings meant to instill fear. Rather, it whispers gently, inviting you to listen more deeply. Moments of tension or discomfort are not punishments, but sacred invitations to slow down, realign, and trust yourself more deeply. They ask you to embrace your inner strength with grace and resilience. May 31st opens a portal of possibility, an opportunity to release what no longer fits and to welcome what your soul has been quietly yearning for. Thank you for being here, for showing up with your heart open and your spirit willing. It takes immense courage to face yourself in times of transition, and even more to speak your truth aloud. This path may not always be smooth or clear, but it is uniquely and beautifully yours. It begins with one simple, powerful declaration: I am ready for June.